it supports a sizable herd of mountain goats. It has caribou, it has deer, it has black bear, it has grizzly bear. It certainly has many of the raptors, and most prominently in terms of blue listed species in British Columbia, it is a fabulous environment for spotted owls, which of course are probably our most endangered animal. So in driving up here today, we saw roads that were already wider than they needed to be.
There's this talk that this will be the greenest Olympics ever.
You know, I love the ideas that they come out with about sustainability. I mean, you know, it is so laughable as to be offensive.
We are the caretakers of a very special province, and we can't develop every valley. Our organization is convinced, and I think lots of other people are convinced, this place should not be developed.
Even though Vancouver was promoting the 2010 Games as the Green Olympics, we were not the first city to do so. In 1995, the International Olympic Committee added the environment as the third pillar of the Olympics. Since then, virtually every Olympic Games was claiming to be the greenest. Even Beijing, the world's most polluted city, is putting a green spin on their games. Tony Blair announced the 2012 Summer Games in London would also be the greenest games ever.
Well, we were very clear in Singapore. We wanted to use the games as a catalyst for all sorts of things, and environmental sustainability was one of the key issues that we really did profile. The Olympic Games changed the rules of engagement. The International Olympic Committee changed the rules of engagement in 2002. Sustainability was very important.
When you mine and harvest natural resources for venues for a 3-week party, can that party really be called green? Trees and forests are green. Millions of tons of steel and concrete are certainly not. Even a small Olympic venue, like the Richmond Skating Oval, represents a significant environmental impact.
It's estimated that we will pour over 1 million cubic feet of concrete, that we will use over 12 million pounds of rebar and over 1 million board feet of lumber.
Larger venues, such as the Beijing Nest, will use up to 10 times that amount of resources. A 3-week party simply does not justify that kind of environmental abuse. The people who seemed to feel the most betrayed by the Olympic Games were the folks up at Eagle Ridge. The province was building a 4-lane highway through a sensitive environmental area close to where they lived. They were told that the highway was needed to bring visitors to Whistler, where most of the snow events would be held.
Can you imagine a 4-lane superhighway is going to go buzzing right through the middle of all this, and it's nuts. This trail system that is going into the wilderness will end up just being a sidewalk on the side of a main thoroughfare. That just it boggles my brain. I don't know why it's being done. But the highway's moving right through this area where these red stakes are. It's come across Larson Creek. It's moving right through here, and it's heading right into the wetland. It's going to be right here, right? That's probably the edge of the highway right there.
Okay, so people can reach out and throw their beer cans into this lake.
What made matters worse was that game organizers promised they would encourage alternative forms of transportation for the games. This promise was even written in the bid book.
Council's been really clear on that. We fought to try to avoid the overland route. We went to court. The basis of our court case was protection of the natural environment, and whether or not it's even feasible to meet certain standards by building a road. But we lost that case.
What else will disappear here? Bear. There's bear here. And there was a bear here with 2 cubs that was often seen by the people walking up here. There are deer here. There are migratory birds. There are eagles.
Concerned citizens started to organize to blockade any construction work.
Is just going to destroy. This is a red-listed ecosystem. That means that it's threatened. It's in danger of being completely wiped out. There are only about 20 or so occurrences of high-quality arbutus groves on the BC coast left. And the promise was that this was going to be a green, sustainable games, and that promise is just going to get blown away when they start the blasting here.
BC would not have won the Olympics without that sustainable promise. So that sustainability is not something you can just gloss over.
The highway, this little bit going across Eagle Ridge Bluff, certainly is not green. It's going to be grey with a cliff face. There's not going to be much growing on those cliff faces.
We're building infrastructure to Whistler for a 2-week party.
What I think more and more people are seeing is that they're trying to push it through for the short term, for the Olympics.
Why do something for 2 weeks of Olympics when we have to live with it for the rest of our lives? And our kids and grandkids. That's what I'm against.
I'm here today because I don't want to go to jail. I want to learn what to do. But if we do get arrested, what happens?
What happens, they'll take you to jail, and they will book you, and they will offer you what's called an undertaking.
After going through a direct action training workshop, the residents of West Vancouver set up a camp on the ridge to blockade any construction. They vowed to stage the occupation until the government reconsidered building a highway through Eagle Ridge Bluffs.
I really believe that we could come up with an intelligent solution. People have talked about the tunnels. People have talked about a 4-lane tunnel. People have talked about a 2-lane tunnel with the existing 2-lane highway as the return. Some people say, well, we need to stop building around automobiles, period. Let's do nothing and turn it into busing, train, because there's an existing train with an existing train tunnel.
We don't have very much left. It's not sustainable what's happening. It's not good for us as a community. It's going to wreck this area and the beauty that we love here.
That with the Olympics now seems to come this desire to show off a city. Let's clean everything up and look perfect. And so all of a sudden now, after all these years, now all of a sudden we have to push this highway through.
I'm for the Olympics because I had a very athletic background. And in a way, yeah, I didn't want it to happen because of that, because I care about nature more than I care about the Olympics.
For those of you who are willing to commit civil disobedience when the time comes, please see Nora at the information tent.
So I'm going to pitch my tent up there, I think. Maybe I'll pitch it down there. And I won't leave until we're arrested and carried off, or until Campbell decides he wants to talk this over.
It's day 38 at Tent City, and the protesters are expecting the police any day.